Good day, everybody. Connor McIver here with Remax and the Paris 911 team. All right, here we go. What I did is I ran numbers throughout Santa Clarita Valley over the last days just to give you a comparison, and also with past events. What I've seen in the last 48 hours is we've had 17 come on the market, active listings from the day before, and then an additional 21 within the last 24 hours. What this is going to include is Santa Clarita Valley proper, but also Acton and Agua Dulce. But that's actually a lot of activity, where in the last several months we've been at about the 8-figure or 10 properties that have been coming on the market. Both of these days split. We've had 3 REOs the one day where we had 17. So it adjusts accordingly. 8 REOs or bank-owned properties for the last 24-hour period. A lot of them are short sales. There are some human sellers out there still that are able to have the equity left in their house to be able to be competitive. And finally, this is the information that's going on out there. Finally, we have a year-to-date escrows closing, and again, the big number at 2366. That's from January 1st to today. Actual houses that have sold and closed escrow here in the Santa Clarita Valley. What does all this mean? What this means is you have someone, if you have your own agent, make sure that they're keeping on top of the market, because when that large flood hits, it'll be very, very apparent. Also make sure if they're putting searches together for you on the internet, that they're also doing their best to keep up with those as well, or at least available for you, so when you fire off that email and indicate which properties you're interested in. A lot of times there's not enough room for us to wait 2 or 3 days, at least currently, because inventory has become so constricted. So just know that going in. Make sure you get pre-approved, and if in fact you haven't spoken with a lender for a few months, get back in there and do it again, because numbers could have changed. You need to know where interest rates are today. They could be different than they were 3 months ago. And also, just so you don't get so frustrated where you might find the perfect property, actually get an accepted offer in, and all of a sudden being told, hey, you know what, John, can't do it for you. Sorry, the lending requirements have changed in the last few months. Do yourself a favor, get back in there. Also, anything you buy, make sure you get that home inspection done. And with the home inspection, there should be several other reports that are prepared. One of them is a clue report. What's that? Well, a clue report happens to apply to every single insurance claim that was made against that property in a period of 5 years. Why is that important? Well, it's important for this reason, because if, let's say, they had some significant water damage, so much so that they were willing to pay that deductible with their homeowner's insurance to get things repaired, what if it wasn't repaired the right way? So you need to see that. You need to see so you can do further investigation, and also whenever you hire your home inspector, you can send him over there and say, listen, Jack, there was something wrong with this property. They had a massive water leak, and Farmers Insurance or whomever came in and had to be called, made the claim and fixed it. Let's make sure that there isn't mold anywhere. Let's do maybe a little bit better of an investigation, because now we know the history. And I would say, I hope every investigation would always be as good as it can be from the beginning. But you know as well as I, when there's some kind of pre-knowledge or knowledge of some pre-existing condition or something that had happened, it means a lot more. So I would want to see that, and I know that I might pay more attention at that point than maybe just looking at something that I figure there has never been a problem with. So that's clue, natural hazard disclosure. That's another one. That's going to cover where this home is it in a fire zone, flood zone, earthquake zone. In the state of California, when you read that disclosure, you kind of wonder if you should be purchasing houses out here. But we live here, we call it home. Anyway, on this disclosure, it talks about what zone the home's in. And that's going to be reflective or really correspond well to your insurance company and how much they're going to charge you to have that property insured. So you need to check that too, because I've seen cases where State Farm or Allstate or Mercury or one of those, they might not touch a particular property. They'll say, I'm sorry, this doesn't fall within our guidelines to be insurable, so we're not going to insure it. And typically their refusing to insure a property happens to have direct correlation to the natural hazard disclosure that's been generated on the property, the way it shows on their books, because they see that as well. So on their end, whenever you give them a 1234 Anywhere Street in Saugus, California, you say that's where I'm going to buy, they go into their database and they're going to generate a clue report. And also they have a form of natural hazard disclosure. And if the property is, let's say, where burned down a few years ago or was very close to, it might be that property is uninsurable. Anyway, that's it. If you have any questions about real estate or escrow or title and all this other fancy stuff, Santa Clarita 411, in conjunction with ourselves, I play host. It's called a real estate show. We try to keep it active and live. Also keep it quite simple, because if I start talking too fast, I forget. Anyway, enjoy it. I'm Connor McIver. If you need us, I'm, of course, at 661-400-1720. And the banner does not lie, Paris911.com. Thanks. We'll talk soon.